So I know I've been promising this for a few weeks now, but it's finally here. In this video, we're going to be looking at my pain cave in the garage here, and this is where I do all of my indoor training for triathlon. So whilst we're at this end of the garage, I wanted to briefly mention the garage door actually. That was something we upgraded not too long ago, and it was really worthwhile. It really wasn't that expensive for the benefits that it gained. So before we had one of those traditional garage doors which extend down, so pretty much around here. And obviously when the garage door is open, that limits the space. All of this behind me I couldn't use because of the head height. So now having a fully electric motorized roller door means that we can utilize all of the space and not have to worry about having the garage door open. Okay, so moving over to this far corner of the garage, we've got my bike stand, which just so happens to be up at the moment. Usually I keep it behind the door over there, but I've been using it recently to install some new brake pads, hence why that's still up. I typically wouldn't use this indoors because the space is still quite limited. We're very good at not keeping stuff we don't need, but there's still stuff that we do need here. So keeping the bike stand up and working on the bike is a bit tricky. So usually I would take it outside and do my workout there. Also on the wall here, we've got Stacey's bike, which is a giant. I don't know anything more than that. It was gifted to Stacey from my friend Mark, who I've mentioned in a previous video, who is my bike mechanic and bike fitter. Stacey wanted to have a go at some cycling on Zwift, and Mark's partner had a spare bike that she wasn't using anymore, and so kindly gave it to her to try out. Now, since being pregnant, she hasn't done any cycling on Zwift, but it is something she intends to get back to once the baby's born, so we'll just have to try and make some space for her here in the pain cave. Right, so in the other corner of the garage here, really just junk if I'm honest. We've got these two units. I can't remember where they came from, and to be honest I don't really know what's in them, but they're really just here at the moment as I can't find anywhere else to put them. They're not taking up any space at the moment, so they'll sit nicely just here. On top we've got some of Stacey's workout gear. I'll come to that in a little bit as to why we've got some of these bits. But yeah, a few resistance bands, that sort of thing here. Whilst I am here, I did want to show you something that was quite useful when I didn't have my cycling desk, if I can get it out. And that is a projector stand. These were really cheap to buy. I think they're about 20 quid, but they were ideal for putting like your laptop or tablet or drinks or anything like that while you're on the bike. Obviously I've got the cycling desk now, so I don't need that, but when I didn't, this was really useful. So you'll have to excuse the angle of this particular clip, but I wanted to include something that's just above me, which is a homemade pull-up bar. So there's a bit of a story behind this. Basically, me and Stacey went to the gym just around the corner a few years ago, and they were due to close. This was at the end of 2018, I think? No, 2019. And so rather than joining another gym, we thought, let's turn the garage into an indoor training setup. And we put all the rubber matting down, got some weights, and as part of that, we decided to invest in some parts to build a pull-up bar. Now, I can't take full credit for this. My dad obviously helped me with it. He's a lot more DIY savvy than me, shall we say. But how it came out, we're really pleased with. So I'll get some close-up B-roll shots of it so you can get a good look at it. But yeah, it's on the rafters there, nice and sturdy, not going anywhere. I couldn't do a pull-up before, so I'm definitely not going to be able to do one now, but just for the sake of the video, I'll try. Oh, I can do one. Can we do two? Just about. So I'm 100 kilos and that is rock solid, that wasn't going anywhere. So hooked around the pull-up bar are these, which you might have seen through one of my more recent videos. These are dry land resistance bands. So when I did the swim analysis with Jack Hutchins, he recommended I get some to practice the optimal stroke on dry land. So these are hooked over the pull-up bar. I typically stand where you are right now and do them. And yeah, they've been really good, really pleased with these. Again, sorry for the awkward camera angles. I'm having to get on the floor for this next clip. But here we have the first proper bike that I've ever owned. This is a Tifosi. Again, I don't know anything more than that, but it was one I bought off Mark several years ago when I first started getting into cycling. It's on a Be Cool trainer, which is ideal for keeping it upright. and I've also got my trainer wheel over here. So this is the primary turbo trainer that I used before I upgraded. And to be honest, I can see a night and day difference between this and the new one. Now, of course, I didn't want to have to wear out the rear wheel, and so I've got the trainer wheel there. That one went on when the bike was on the trainer, and then if I took it out on the road, I'd put this wheel back on. We've also got a front wheel holder, is that what it's called? Basically, this is a lifeline one that just raises the wheel up when you're on the trainer, and I didn't find it was quite enough, so my dad used some plywood to raise it up a little bit. What I've actually found since is that I think I prefer it a little bit lower, so I've got another one of these, but without being on the plywood, which I'm using on the main bike at the moment. Now, Mark and I have got a bit of a plan with this bike. I don't use it at the moment, but I want to make use of it. So what we're going to do is convert this bike into a single speed, with the idea being that I just want something easy that I can just jump on, ride, not think about, and use that to get to work, get to the swimming pool, get down to park run, that sort of thing. So Mark's going to be taking this away in the next few days to convert it for me. So really appreciate him for that. Really looking forward to getting this one back and getting back on the road with it. So we've got the TV on the wall there as well. Now, I did have my trainer over on that side before facing the TV, but just to be a bit more space efficient, we rotate things around. I've got the bike over there with the trainer, and really this TV is not getting any use at the moment, but it may do in the future. Okay, so moving over to this side of the garage now, this is my bike setup. Again, if you've seen one of my previous videos, you'll see that this fan on the wall here is a relatively recent upgrade. I was finding that the fan that's on the floor didn't do quite enough for me. It wasn't blowing the air into my face, so we put this one up on the wall to point directly at me while I'm cycling. The bike that's on the trainer at the moment is my main bike, shall we say. I've only got this one and the Tifosi. This is a 3T Strada Due, and again, I have to thank Mark for this. I was looking for a new bike and he spotted this one online, and considering the spec of it, it was a really good price, all brand new still. So yeah, really appreciate Mark for finding that one for me. So you've probably gathered by now that I don't really know that much about bikes at all. I rely on Mark for that sort of stuff. I just ride them. So yeah, this is a 3T Strada Due, and I've been really pleased with it. The desk here, you may think it looks like a Wahoo desk, but it's not. It's a Lifeline one from Wiggle. And although I haven't used the Wahoo one, I can imagine that this one is actually a little bit better for several reasons, mainly due to the fact that it's actually got 2 drinks holders and this ridge in the front here, so you can stick your phone or your tablet in and not have to worry about it moving. A lot more affordable than the Wahoo one as well. I can't remember how much this one was, but it's considerably less than the Wahoo one, and I've been really pleased with it. Now, you can't see the trainer itself, so I'll get some B-roll clips of several things as we're doing this, but it is a Wahoo Kicker. I've had it for maybe 9 months now, and I've, again, been really pleased with it. Definitely worth the money, especially when you compare it to the Be Cool trainer I was using before. This one is so much more accurate, it's ridiculous. You can see a night and day difference. When I'm on something like Trainer Road, when I was using the Be Cool trainer, the power output was all over the place, whereas on the Wahoo, dead flat all the way. Okay, so we're on to the penultimate part of the pain cave here, and this is just a basic racking unit where we keep a lot of stuff. On the top shelf, we've got all my IT gear. So my day job is in IT. So I've got the router, a little switch, Raspberry Pi, that sort of thing, and some Cat5 cable. So on the remainder of the shelves, it's a combination of both DIY kit and cycling kit. So I've got the likes of my bike computer, lights, nutrition, Allen keys, these actually which go in to wet shoes. So you put these on the radiator for a bit and put them in wet shoes, and they're meant to make them smell a bit nicer and dry quicker. So these get some use. So I've got an old PC here that I was using for Zwift and Trainer Road when I was on the Be Cool trainer. As that only had an ANT Plus connection, I had to use an ANT Plus adapter with the PC, and I couldn't use the iPad. So we've got my cycling shoes, my helmet, a few weights, Hoover stuff, DIY stuff. Nothing particularly interesting here, but it all stays on this one shelf and we know where everything is. So that's a bonus. Okay, so the final part of the pain cave may not look like much, but it's actually a really useful area. So we've got the tumble dryer underneath, this worktop that sits along the wall here, which is ideal for when you're doing bike stuff and you need a bit of empty space. And underneath the worktop, I've actually got a plywood box that my dad built for me. So this came from when we were doing the indoor workouts. I guess it was a little bit like CrossFit. So I was doing box jumps, that sort of thing. We found this tutorial online on how to build one yourself. To get them fully built for you already, they're quite expensive. So with this, all you need really is some plywood, some screws and the instructions to follow. So Dad built that for me. I was really pleased with it. It doesn't get much use these days, but as I try and do a bit more strength and conditioning work as part of my triathlon training, hopefully I'll start using that one again. Also down here we've got a selection of kettlebells, which we were using as part of the indoor training again. Don't get a huge amount of use these days, like some of the other bits here, but I do try to use them on occasion. For things like squats and deadlifts as part of your strength and conditioning, they're really useful, and it saves having to go out to a gym and do it there. Okay, so that's the end of the Pain Cave tour. That is my indoor training setup where I do everything indoors for triathlon. Now, if you haven't already, I really would encourage you to subscribe at this point, because I've got a big upgrade coming to the Pain Cave in the next few weeks. So I'm going to be doing a few videos about that. So yeah, really hope you enjoyed this one. A little bit different to my normal type of videos. So let me know if you enjoyed it in the comments below. If you click on the screen just here, you can see my previous video, which I think is going to be 13 tips for your first ever triathlon. So be sure to check that one out as well. If you enjoyed the video, drop it a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.